Hi, it's David C. Jones with Speeding and Rolling, and the Whistler Film Festival is upon us, or almost upon us. It's coming very fast. And we are talking with Josias, who has a film in the First Look program. First off, hello, how are you?
Good. How are you doing? Thanks for having me, David. Appreciate it.
No worries, no worries. Now, you have a film, Fire in Our Hearts,
Hmm.
and it's in the First Look series. So let's first talk about the film. This is a documentary that you were compelled for very good reasons to make. So talk us through it.
Yeah, so it's a film about the wildfires that occurred in my home community. It's a community called the South Side. It's close to Burns Lake, far away from Vancouver, about 12 hours drive. And in 2018, the also in 2023, but in 2018, it was the first time that such a ravishing fire has hit my home community. And what happened then is, due to old policies and maybe miscommunication between authorities, my community didn't want to evacuate, wanted to defend their homes because they don't have home insurance, and the promises that were made for sprinkling systems around their property did not occur. So they stayed behind and decided to fight the fires, which added tension between authorities and the community. RCMP officers were deployed, and the ferry, which is the only real way to the community, was controlled, and no food or supplies were allowed to cross Francois Lake. So basically, the community was almost was getting starved out. But the nice thing about that is it also started to answer a lot of questions as to how maybe smaller communities could be involved in the fight against wildfires. And that is a big discovery, is that in the end, smaller communities like the South Side managed to really be an integral part of the battle against wildfires, and are now quite self-sufficient and almost a blueprint for other communities in how they use their tactics, techniques, and communication tools to address fires when they occur in that region.
So now, and you had to be snuck in there to make your film. Now, can you just clarify? Did you make this film for the more recent fire, or for a 2018 fire? Because
Well, back then it was the 2018 fire. I felt like the best way to help my community. I'm an immigrant. The community welcomed my family with open arms when we immigrated. And I really wanted to document what was happening and spread awareness, and also help by GoFundMe to raise money for the people that lost their homes. So that was 2018. But then, the material that I captured and just what was ongoing, the aftermath, but also what the South Side came up with strategies, with organizations like the Chinook Emergency Response Society and the Cheslada Band that was very much involved. They came up with plans and with new ideas on how to be self-sufficient and fight the fires as a community, with, of course, the collaboration of authorities like BC Wildfire, but also be able to address the fires as soon as they happen. And that now has been very successful. I think this last year could have been lots worse, but I think the community, the volunteer firefighters, were able to control over 30 fires that could potentially have been disastrous. So it was definitely a success story so far. And I know that they've been in communication with communities in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick and other communities in Canada, and exchanged intel on how these procedures were successful for them, and it could be for smaller communities in all of Canada.
It's time to inform you that this morning, based on the advice of the experts in the British Columbia Fire Service, we have declared a provincial state of emergency. This decision has been made on the basis of advice that we have received in terms of the number of fires, the nature of the fires, as well as the long-term outlook over the next 10 days in terms of the weather, on the fact that there does not appear to be any relief in sight.
The spirit of the people is reflected in the landscape, and when we lose the landscape of a community, it really hurts way down deep inside.
When I was at that meeting, they said they were using 5% of all the equipment on the south side that could have been used to be building guards, berms around homes that would help to save them. 5%. That's sickening.
If we'd have had a couple of days of air support when we needed it, we could have stopped it long ago. What are people going to do here, without the timber? And it's a disaster.
I was worried about losing everything here, and I knew this fire was coming, and I knew nobody was really doing anything about it. So I figured if nobody's going to do anything about it, I'm going to do it myself.
We get kind of left out here, almost discriminated against, because we don't live in the city.
The politicians needed to come and see the devastation that is happening on the south side.
I think the government has to take a good look at this and say, a lot went wrong here. What can we do differently?
Wow. Now this is interesting, because it's like, it's government in action, because they were supposed to put in fire alarms and they didn't, which you could say, okay, this might just be the machinations of government. One hand doesn't know what the other hand's doing and they can't get something done, or it could be something more insidious than that. And I love that rather than giving up and throwing hands up in despair, and it was like, well, no, okay, well, then we have to take care of ourselves. If we can't rely on the government to take care of us, and we don't have any reason to think that's going to change, we better figure it out ourselves. That's quite, it's still incredibly sad, right? Like, it's still like, it shouldn't work that way, but it also feels.
Yeah, I think, there's positive too. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily, it was never an us versus them, so to speak. I think it's more, if there's anyone to blame, it's the old policies, as global warming occurs, or as more fires occur because of the dry, climate we're experiencing in summer. Those policies can't apply anymore because there's simply not enough resources to help. There's not enough firefighters. I know BC wildfire there were too many fires to attend. So involving small communities, and frankly, nobody else will fight with more passion and with more at stake than a small community. So involving small communities will be the solution, in my opinion, moving forward, as this gets more and more serious.
No, nobody's coming to, it's that thing of like, nobody's coming to save you, so you might as well save yourself, right?
Yeah. Well, in collaboration, of course, with BC Wildfire. This year, I believe it was the first time that BC Wildfire hired volunteer firefighters in my home community and actually paid them to attend to fires, and that is a big progress already. It's the step in the right direction.
It feels so interesting to think of something so devastating being like a work project like that, but there it is. Now you're in the First Look series, which is a very exciting series. First off, how thrilling is that for you to be told you're in the First Look series?
Oh, very thrilling. Yeah, I'm very grateful to Whistler Film Festival, and excited to showcase what we have. The film isn't done yet, but I'm going to be able to show this film to distributors, to networks, and get feedback and hopefully some interest. And I'm very excited. I have two producers attached now. Sarah Blake and Magali Dion, and they've been fantastic and very supportive. And I look forward to finishing the film in style, and hopefully it will be a good example of what small communities could do or be a part of, and what we would need to do moving forward with the battle of these wildfires, because they're not going to cease, they're not going to go away.
Nice. So I guess that's always the issue as a documentary filmmaker, because you want to try to cut together a 3-act structure, just like the same as a scripted piece, but you're just shooting randomly, going, I don't know what the story is yet. It's all story, but I don't know, like, because when we see a movie, we want there to be some kind of like arc or something. So nice.
Oh yeah, it's more challenging. You're right. You know, when this happened, obviously it was just, okay, I got to go and document it. I grabbed my camera, and with a friend we went up north to start filming. You don't have prep time. You don't know, how you're going to shoot it. You just go.
Yeah, you don't know who the stars are yet either.
You don't know who the stars are. You discover it in the process, and I think we're there now. We know who the main protagonists are, and they're very exciting. And I think it's going to add a lot to the film.
Nice. Now, one more quick question, because of course now we're entirely intrigued with your film, and we're entirely excited for you and your opportunity. When it plays in the First Look series, is that open to the public so we can come in and watch it too, or is it just for the industry people?
It's by invitation only, I'm afraid. Yes, but it is also, it's not a finished film yet. The idea of the First Look program is that you show an assembly cut or a rough cut to people in the industry, distributors and networks, and hopefully create interest, and then get the film made or finished through that, or at least get very good, valuable feedback that will help make the right decisions by getting it to the finish line.
Do you have placeholders in a couple spots, like really cool shot here or nature shot here? Right.
I should. Yeah, I should have maybe the animals are missing. Maybe a grizzly bear here, maybe a moose over there.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I am so thrilled for you. It's lovely to meet you, and I'm sorry that such a harrowing and awful experience was the reason for having to make the film, but thank goodness you were there to film it and let people know what was going on here, and the inaction and almost interference at times that was affecting this community that had been so supportive of you.
Thank you. Yeah, and of course, it's just one community out of many. There's many that went through similar battles, and I think there's a lot of progress that is being made, and I'm excited to be a part of a film, or to showcase a film that is so meaningful, and hopefully it will serve as a blueprint for moving forward.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for taking time to talk with me, Josias. It was wonderful to meet you, and I'll see the film sometime in the future.
Yeah, for sure you will, David. Thank you so much, and appreciate talking to you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.